That is a big green screen.
Oh yes, it is two screens connected.
What are you working on?
I'm always making video content and stuff. I like to put things in the background and really anything as basic as like announcing a tour and
Yeah, yeah.
putting, the dates in the background or something like that. Or if I'm filming a playthrough, say like a guitar playthrough or something, instead of seeing all the storage in the background, I like to put
Yeah.
like a nice background. I could even make it look like I'm in like a nicer studio than I actually am. So sky is the limit.
I love it. I love it. Amazing. How are you?
Good. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Doing well. It's been a very busy day. You're my fifth interview of the day, but you're my last. So that's so cool. It's been busy, but it's been fun. Always wide array of people to talk to all across the world, you know. So it's fabulous to, it's a joy.
Excellent. Saving the best for last, I see.
Absolutely, absolutely. Are you enjoying the kind of post-release calm that comes momentarily after dropping an album?
I am because the pressure to promote on social media and like the expectations upon release week caused some anxiety for sure. And it's
Mm.
always like, oh, is the album streaming as well as we thought it would? Are people sharing it? Or, what will be the initial comments or reactions and stuff? But it was actually way better than anticipated overall.
Mm.
I know the metal elitists can be not very forgiving, but I was pleasantly surprised. If there were bad comments regarding the album, I think I'd have to really look for them. Maybe they're all on YouTube. I haven't really been there yet. So all
It's
the
always on YouTube.
it's always YouTube. Yeah, maybe I stayed away for a reason. It's easier that way for my mental health. But yeah, the feedback's been actually incredible. We it surpassed our expectations too. We're definitely really proud of the album, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't know. I guess the bar has been pretty raised, very high, just from our entire catalog from start to finish, really. So to put something out that packs the same punch and is received similarly to some of our past fan favorites was pretty huge. So yeah, we're happy.
I'm glad you're happy. I mean, you can actually venture onto YouTube because I did cursory stuff through the comments and the videos and stuff like that. And of course, yeah, the odd one here and there. But predominantly, it is a positive. Everyone's got positive things to say overall, whether it be in reviews, comments on social media, YouTube, and all of that. And that I think speaks volumes, not just about the album overall, but where you are and how you've developed up to this particular point. So it is fantastic to see that, and I'm glad that you're seeing it too, because ultimately you put the work in, so we want, you to at least feel some reward from that perspective. Because sometimes making music, as you know, it can be horribly unrewarding.
Oh yeah, it can.
How was the Canadian tour?
It was incredible. So we sold out nine of those shows. This was the first time that we have done a month long tour in Canada because we generally will just play the usual cities like Ottawa, Toronto, Montreal. But we hit so much ground and so many new places. I think there are lots of highlights, but one that comes to mind first is Halifax. That's a city we'd
Mm.
never been to, and we played a fairly large venue and sold it out. So that surpassed our expectations for sure. Um, let's see, a city that I've also never been to is Victoria, and that is just a beautiful place to go. So Halifax is the east coast of Canada, and then Victoria is all the way far west coast. And we actually had to take a ferry to get to Victoria, and I just can't say enough good things about the beauty of that city, and the people were really cool. Some other highlights that unexpectedly Thunder Bay was just good vibes. It was really
Mm.
fun. I think especially in that town, everyone's like, "We can't believe you came here,"
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was Canada Day that day in Thunder Bay, so maybe that's also why it stands out a bit in my memory. Is there was just lots of partying in the streets and stuff. Let's see, we
Unique.
played. Yeah, it was unique for sure. We played Sudbury. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot. I could go on and on. But oh, Montreal is a returning favorite. We sold out
Mhm.
that show, and yeah, it was great. 9 sold out shows out of a month of Canada touring, and the border was not very nice to me, but they did let us in, obviously. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, the Canada border is very tough. If for people who don't know, it's the most difficult border crossing in the world
Mhm.
for at least in my experience, besides Singapore. Singapore might be the number one most difficult border in the world. I think Canada is second as far as places that we have been. But we
Mm.
made it.
Yes, yes, you did. And obviously, Canada was grateful. It's 9 sold-out shows across the month, and so many people turning out for them. How was the new songs? How were the new songs going down live? Did you notice any kind of differences in energy and vibe within the crowd?
Oh, they were great. It was really cool. I think so. There's a couple of the songs we were already playing before they were released, and
Yeah.
the reception was definitely good still. Uh, but then I think people went a little harder knowing the songs, and then you can see people like singing the words and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, the new songs have gone over really well, surprisingly well, and sometimes I get caught up in like, oh, people come to the shows because they just want to hear your old stuff, which it's true. Yeah, a lot of people do want to just hear the old classics. We've been a band for a very long time. So
Mm.
people, are very particular with our old catalog. I understand that, but I guess it's been a nice leap of confidence now to like reaffirm that like people are really loving the new stuff too. So we're about to do a USA tour in supporting our new album Through Shadows. It's a Through Shadows tour and playing tons of stuff off that, and just seeing the crowd response to the songs we're already playing for that album so far gives me even more confidence to like have people super excited with our set list for this one. Of course, we're gonna do play the old classics as
Oh yeah.
well. Stuff from our third album, The Discovery. We're bringing more of those songs in our set list as well. That's a fan favorite too. So
Mm.
we stay in tune with what people want to hear. And while it is hard to pick just a certain amount of songs to fit in 1 hour only, where I think
Mhm.
we're gonna actually play a little longer now because it's. I mean, we had what 8, 9 albums. I lost count, but
Mhm.
it's you can't win them all. So we're just trying to figure out what the fans really want to hear while showing them the new music as well.
It's like a beautiful problem to have. Too much great music to build a set list from, unless you start doing 2, 3 hour evening with. Maybe that's for the future, but for now, I like you having that problem. Yeah, that US tour is insane. That's like from the end of September through to November, right? Like almost 2 months
Yeah, so I
straight.
actually have the dates pulled up right here. So it starts September 25th in Madison, Wisconsin,
Mm.
and then it ends November 9th in Chicago, Illinois. So which is where the band is from. That's where I'm from. So it's a 7 week tour, and it is with the Browning,
Mm.
Victims, XD, and Lost in Separation. So
Mm.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I think I might actually be wearing Lost. Yeah, I'm wearing Lost in Separation shirt right now. Shout out to Malad, my homie. He's the singer. But yeah, it's going to be a big homie fest. We're friends with everybody on that tour, and we have previously toured with all of them. The Browning was on our Canada
Yeah.
tour just recently, and we love them.
Fantastic. Europe can watch jealously for now. I guess we'll keep an eye on things and see what goes on in 2026, because I think you might need some time off maybe over Christmas to recover from that tour.
Oh yeah, but we're going right back to Europe, and it's not announced yet. So you're the first to know that. I don't know if I can give any more details, but January, look for us.
Cool, cool, cool. No worries. Always good to hear. All right. Of course, you've mentioned it, Three Shadows. is the new album. Released earlier this month, July, so not been out too long, but enough time for people to get their ears around and start to learn the words as we know. Sumerian Records, a huge accomplishment and one I hope you were so proud of because my goodness me, is it a fabulous, fabulous release and certainly up there as one of your best. What does it mean to you personally to release this record?
So to me, personally, it signifies growth and change. So the title, it's an album about resilience. So the title "Through Shadows" was actually taken from a an excerpt of the lyrics, which the full sentence being "Through shadow, light remains,"
Mm,
which is saying like through shadow, which is dark times or grieving, the loss of a loved one, or just having a difficult week in general. Life always throws curveballs, which that's the shadows. We all go through shadows, right? And but light remains. So
mm,
if you stick through it, and if you stay resilient, and if you don't take shortcuts with give into temptation, if you keep a clean body and mind and just make the right decisions, then light remains. You can stay through the shadows if you just mope around, feel bad for yourself, don't take action, uh, resort to say like drugs or alcohol or just shortcuts where people find that a temporary escape. Then you're probably going to stay in the shadows. But it's about being strong, making better decisions, and it's about hope. Just
mm.
to sum it short, it's a record about hope, getting through the dark times.
Was that the initial vision? Like when you go back to the earliest point of its creation, the creative period of time, the vision for what the new album would look like. Did you have was it that specific? Was that something that kind of just developed over time?
So now, if you're talking the music in general, aside from like the artwork and all that, the music in general, we actually had concepts and ideas for this album is well, as far back as actually when I was 16 years old. There's some riffs that I pulled out from the vault that was from when I was in high school. Some stuff I wrote that I was like, oh, I never released that. That was a really old demo, but I liked it. So you can hear
Mm,
some of that on there, some really really old ideas, and then you can also hear a lot of ideas that were a lot of the songs were written in 2020 during the pandemic when we were all you know, staying home and all that stuff. And then there's stuff that was written years after that as well. So it's very much work compiled from like way back to 5 years back to a year ago. So it's
mm.
really all across the spectrum, and I do think that comes across in the sound in that this album is almost like a good preview of like if someone heard us for the first time, it's like a sample platter of like here's Born of
Right.
Osiris. It's the yeah, a little old, medium, and new. And then I think you might have also been talking about like the vision and the art. Uh, so Sean Keith from Sumerian Records,
Hmm.
um, uh, he helped. Well, first of all, he helped us come up with the name Through Shadows, where we originally were like, let's call it Through Shadow, Light Remains, because that was the lyric.
Yeah.
And Sean's like, yeah, that's a little long though, and so we agreed. Even though I think long album titles seem to be in right now, but I like short album titles personally. I
Hmm.
think that's just classier personally. So he's like, why don't we shorten it? We'll just shorten it to Through Shadows. And we're all like, yeah, that's awesome. And he's like, well, hey, Sumerian Records comics. So if you didn't know, they have like a branch of comics, and
Yeah.
I believe that the artist who designs those is named Nicola Izzo. Um, I'm assuming he's the one who had done the artwork for Through Shadows, where you see the shadowy figure. It's the guy in the hoodie. He looks like he's up to no good. He looks just like he's going on a drug deal or something shady or looking for prostitutes. I don't know. Yeah, he looks like he's up to no good, and he's walking through the shadows on that cover. So I thought that depicts our story very well. The story we're trying to tell of walking through the shadows and being resilient and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
But that story, the through shadow story, how early did that sort of come into light, so to speak? Was that something that you all discussed initially? And so this is kind of how we want it to, this is the story we want to tell, this is the theme, this is how we want it to feel.
Great question. So this all really came to fruition at the very end of the album process. So we didn't really have like a lyric that encapsulated like the whole thing that we could wrap it up as like this is the theme, but it did
Hmm.
fit so well with just lyrics in general about self-reflection and things like that. So it although it did pertain mostly to one song, you could really relate it to every song on the album because it's a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness and stuff like that. So yeah, the song Through Shadows didn't it wasn't fully formed, and that was one of the last songs we really put together lyrically, musically. That one kind of came together the last, and I guess that's the song that surprised us the most in the end because we just kind of had it waiting, but I guess when Ronnie had the vocals on there, and we just had lyrics and all that. It really tied everything together. So yeah, that came at the very end.
Okay, but it ended up being like this connective vein that just ran through the entire thing. Um, which
Yeah, it was
I
like the eureka aha moment we had. Like, wow, through shadow, it just everything came together with that one song, and we could wrap it all up. We're like, okay, now we got an album title. We're done.
love it. Amazing. And you make it sound like such a smooth process when you describe it like that. But I imagine it was a little bit more complex and a little bit more challenging to get to that point.
Yeah, not that smooth, very challenging, but it was fun. We always have fun doing it, and hopefully hopefully Zach Jones didn't get too annoyed with us when we were mixing it because yeah, with the mixing process and all that, we just would have so many new ideas in the middle of everything and basically doing everything that you shouldn't do to your producer and mixing engineer as a band. So thanks Zach for putting up with us. That was definitely a long process, but we're really happy with how it came out.
Worthwhile process in the end. And I think, one of the most attractive things about you guys and the band for wide array of fans is your experimentation. You experiment, you try new things. It's evident in this album, it's evident in every album you've done to this point. This time round, that experimentation, did you have any lines in the sand, so to speak? Moments where you thought, okay, this is probably too much even for us, or was it quite an open field as far as experimentation went?
Oh yeah, there was a lot of experimentation and a lot of deleting things and trying again.
Hmm.
Um, and I think vocally that was the case too, where there were lots of ideas for choruses and things that we liked at first, and then upon visiting again with fresh ears, we're like, oh, let's try something new. Structure changes a lot in the songs. I think every single song had a structure change. Like very rarely do we start a demo with the instrumentals and have it not change quite a bit, and I think that's a good thing. Though I do think most songs can benefit from a structure change from like after first making the song. And when you get everybody together in a room, and then even people who are not in the band or people from Sumerian Records or producers and stuff, it's cool to get an extra ear and extra opinion on that because sometimes my favorite part of the song might be like 20 other people's like least favorite song, and maybe it could benefit from just even that riff just not even being in there. You never know, and it's nice to get other opinions from the right people, of course. And You got to be careful who you take your opinions from too. So everybody's got that like jealous friend who maybe you should stop sending your demos to because they secretly want to tear you down. So um, yeah, take note of that. You never know; they could people the people closest to you can turn on you really quickly. So you always got to be careful of that. But yeah, to answer your question, it was very experimental and things changed quite a bit during the whole process. Nothing was ever as it started, which I think that's good.
Yeah, I would be surprised if you had said, "Oh no, these things are coming out pretty much straight away and minimal changes." I guess it's part of the fun almost for you at this stage of your career to sit together, to get together as a group and have these ideas bounce off each other because you are such a collaborative band, by and large.
Right.
So, when you look kind of the creative process, beginning to end, I mean, we're talking from the very first, I don't know, riff that was used or discovered or repurposed or repackaged or played to where we are now at the release of the album. What were some of the more challenging aspects of its creation for you specifically?
I so this was the first album that I recorded and engineered, produced my own drums, recorded them in my home. So this was along the time when I was recording that I was actually learning how to record real drums. So normally I would have a producer or like go to a professional studio
Hmm.
and have somebody hit record for me. And but I've always been very hands on with recording instruments and stuff like that. But I guess the last like behemoth of learning how to record yourself is recording real drums with microphones and all that stuff. So that was I feel like I took a big leap in my production skills, learned how to track, engineer the drums all myself. So I think that was the biggest hurdle for me is learning all that. And I'm just really proud of learning everything I've learned from that. And now I do that really daily at home. I do it for other bands as well. So I do session work at home. So I record drums for other bands and stuff. So also, if your band wants drums, hit me up. Um, I should show you. I'm actually in my studio right now. If you could see that.
Yep.
So, so,
Beautiful
yeah, I
kit.
just got drum microphones set up and all that. There's my kit, SJC drums. So yeah, this is where I spend most of my time. But so yeah, to answer your question, I think the drum recording aspect of everything was like the biggest hurdle, but really proud of how it turned out.
What made you decide to do that this time around? Was it something you were always going to eventually get onto, and just it was time and stuff like that?
What a good question. So over the years, the band has self-produced and self-recorded ourselves more and more.
Mhm.
Uh, where this was the very last piece of the puzzle, where it was like, okay, well, we can record the vocals ourselves, we can record the bass ourselves, the keyboards, the guitar, but I'm always going somewhere to record the drums. And I always get so much anxiety when I have to do that because it's kind of like studying for college exams, but there's like 14 of them if you have 14 songs on an album, for example. So before you go in, it's just nerve wracking, and the amount of work that goes into learning every song before I show up is it's just a lot. Like doing that amidst busy tour schedule and whatever else. Um, so I would always dread having to learn like so many songs in a short period of time to get ready for the studio. And it would actually take away from some of the creativity because it's like just the burden of learning that many songs in a short period of time is a lot. So I was able to put a lot more love and care and thought into each drum part when I can do it at my own speed, at home, record myself. I'm not on somebody else's watch. I'm not paying somebody else for their time. So it really helps to make more thoughtful drum parts without having to worry that I'm annoying somebody, I'm wasting
Mm.
their time and money. So yeah, it was just the last final step in basically my tool belt of like things, production tools and all that.
That's fabulous. I'm so glad it worked out because ultimately, I'd imagine early on, when it was really tough and you're struggling to get the grips with what you need to do, you have those moments where you're just thinking, "This is too much. Let me just go to a goddamn studio and get it recorded."
Yeah, lots of anxiety. So who knows? Maybe someday I'll do it again for something. But for now, I'm just leveling up my production knowledge here and proud of the recordings.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. It's fabulous, fabulous to hear. Um, we thought that was the challenge from the challenger's perspective, but the same question, but from a more positive angle. What aspects of the creative process, when you look back on, did you just love this time around that you really found yourself enjoying that might have been a little bit different?
I really found myself enjoying making the electronic beats. I think it's a little more relaxed kind of thing to record, where you don't really have to leave your chair. Or
Mm.
if I'm recording drums, I have to like every take I have to get off my chair, get on the drums, go back and edit. Or you got to pick up a guitar, you got to like tune the guitar, change the strings, and edit that. But I think there's something just kind of zen about making electronic beats where like I don't
Mm.
have to get out of the chair. I don't have to like replace cymbals. I don't have to change drum heads. I don't have to tune drums. More minimal editing, where I can kind of just sit there and vibe out, and it's a lot of fun. So I did some of the beats on through shadows, and yeah, that was just really relaxing, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. And Born of Osiris has always had the more vibey beats and incorporated that stuff. So it was fun to revisit that because I think it's something I don't do enough. And
Mm.
some people have mentioned that some of their favorite things that I create are the beats, which, I'm known for the metal stuff, but the beats aspect and the chill vibes is something I really enjoy a lot. So yeah, that was very fun for me.
It's so important to remember that, yeah, you might be well known for metal and rock and harder sounds and all that, but ultimately you're an artist with many strings to your bow. And yeah, there's a lot of that can be brought in, and with Born Osiris, we get to hear that sometimes.
Absolutely.
Do you have an idea of what success for this record might look like? Now, I realize it's a difficult word because success is measured in unique ways these days, but do you personally have something that you look at and go, 6, 12 months down the line, this would make that record successful for me?
Yeah, it's so true that the word for success regarding an album is so different now than it used to be because with streaming and first week sales not even really mattering that much anymore. It's interesting to look at because you don't want to judge too hard with those numbers anymore. I don't want to look at how many CDs did we sell the first week and get disappointed that it's not the same amount of CDs that we sold in 2011 or
Mm.
2013. Like that's a metric that's shouldn't really be compared anymore when it comes to the success of your band. So to me, the success lies in more people coming to the shows and buying merch and having successful tours where we got to go home and say that was amazing, and just see the reaction of the crowd and see people just generally hyped up on the songs we're playing. And so I guess I have a more simple version of success that's not looking at specific numbers really regarding the album. I mean, I've been doing this for so long, and you can get caught up in numbers and you can get caught up in comparing yourself other years albums and all that, but at the end of the day, I just want to have fun on the tours, and I want everybody else to go home saying, wow, Born of Osiris was amazing. They played old songs that I loved, but I really loved the new songs that they played. So, yeah, I'm not too caught up in the numbers. If we had a good, successful tour, we made some money from it, and everybody was happy, the fans were happy, that's successful to me.
What a fabulous summation, because as we said at the start, you need to do cursory looking around the internet to know fans are very, very happy. They're coming out to the tours, whether it be in Canada, fingers crossed America blows up as well. I'm sure it will. And when you come over Europe's way, we always sell at those venues too, because people are loving not just the old stuff, but the new stuff as well that is Through Shadows. Cameron, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does help us out. You can find us at gbhbl.com and across all social media platforms. And if you really want to give us a bit of extra support, please consider buying us a cup of coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you.